Okay, so your do not for today is to finish page 25 in your packet. This is numbers 4 through 6. So we're going to go ahead and draw a picture because that's the first step. So 14-foot ladder is used to scale a 13-foot wall. So this is my 13-foot wall. And this is my ladder, which is 14 feet. So I know this is the ground, so this is where my 90-degree angle is. All right. It says, at what angle of elevation must the ladder be situated in order to reach the top of the wall? So we want to know what is this angle of elevation here. Remember, that's the horizontal distance and the line of sight. So I'm going to label my sides. That's going to be my first step. And if this is the angle I'm looking at, this is opposite hypotenuse. So this is going to be sin x equals 13 over 14. And please note that we don't know what the angle is. So this is going to be one of those where we have to hit second sine 13 divided by 14 equals, so I'll just put that little negative one there, 68.2. So I'll just say 68.2 degrees. All right, number 5, it says a person stands at a window of a building. So here's the person in a window. And their eyes are 12.6 above the ground. An object is on the ground. Here's an object. And it's 58.5 meters away from the building, directly beneath the person's eyes. You want to know what the angle of depression is. So here's his line of sight. And if they're looking down to the object, this is the angle of depression. So, first I'm going to have to find this angle here, and I'm going to have to use that to find the one next to it. So again, here's my right angle. This is opposite adjacent. So we're looking tangent x. So right now you should be thinking, oh, I got to hit the second button of 58.5 over 12.6. So second tangent, 58.5 divided by 12.6. And you should get 77.8. So I know this angle is 77.8. So this one, this is a 90-degree angle. This would be 90 minus 77.8, which is 12.2. And again, it's in degrees. Okay, a ramp is needed. They drew the picture for me. How long does the ramp have to be? Okay, so we're testing this. It has to be 30 degrees or less. So we need to find if x is less than 30 degrees, the ramp is good. So how do we do that? Well, we're looking from here, so this would be opposite hypotenuse. So that's sin x equals 2 over 5. So you should be thinking -1. We have to do second sine of 2 divided by 5, which is 23.57 or 23.6. And 23.6 is less than 30. So the ramp is safe. All right, lovely. Those are angle of elevation and depression. If you're struggling, there are lovely videos, or you can look for it online. All right, today we're going to learn some really long formulas, but you're just going to use the formula to plug numbers in. So you just have to really think about what the number values are, where they go in the formula, and you should be good to go. It's called law of sine and law of cosine practice. And basically what this does is this allows you to find missing angles and missing sides of triangles that are not 90 degrees. So we use trig ratios. If you have a 90-degree angled triangle. We use a 30, 60, 90, or 45, 45, 90 if you have special right triangles. Law of sine and law of cosine is used to find missing angles and sides if, in fact, it's not a 90-degree angle. And some person, probably a man, very long ago, found this pattern in life and decided it was important for you to know. Okay, so at the very bottom of page 26, the first thing I'm going to teach you is law of sine. You want to take these notes. So law of sine is used when you're given two angles. And one side, or when you're given two sides, plus one non-included angle. All right. The formula is A over sine A equals the ratio of B over sine B, which equals the ratio of C over sine C. And this all has to do with similar triangles. But anyway, there's the formula that you need to have that we'll be referring to quite frequently. And again, if you are given two angles and one side, you use this. And if you're given two sides and one non-included angle, so what does that mean? If you're looking at a triangle, and let's say you're given this side, and this angle here. That is a non-included side angle. Excuse me. This angle here is included because it's in between or in between. So because you're given a non-included side, it's the side that's not in between the two angles. All right. So if we look back here at example number 1, we want to find AC. So the first thing you want to do is mark one, highlight, or circle unknown. Okay, so in this case I'm highlighting AC. Step 2, label A, B, C, and A, B, C. So we're going to label our sides, little a, little b, little c. We're going to label our angles, big A, big B, big C. And what you notice is they're already labeled for you, big A, big B, big C. So when you're labeling the sides, the side across from or opposite A is little a, the side opposite B is little b, and the side opposite C is little c. Okay, that's step 2. Step 3. I guess you could cross off what you don't need. So in this case, I'm not going to use C, and I'm not going to use big C. And then 4, set up your ratio and solve. So I'll call it proportion. Okay, so what do I mean by this? The proportion I'm going to set up is 21, or A over sine A equals little b over sine B. So, what am I going to replace A with? 21. Sine A is right here, sine of 57, equals, little b is what I'm looking for, over sine of 89. right, so now you should notice that this is a proportion, so you're going to cross, multiply, and then divide. So I'm going to cross, multiply these, and you should notice that you're going to multiply these and divide by this, okay? So in your calculator, you would type in sine 89 times 21, remember to close your parentheses, equals sine 57 times b, so I'm going to divide by the sine of 57. So all this should be typed in your calculator. If you want to type it in with, I would type this in, then hit enter, and then type in divided by 57. Otherwise, it'll just divide 21 by this. So type in your calculator, sin 89, close the parentheses, times 21, hit enter, and then hit divided by sin 57. And your answer should be 25 to the nearest degree and to the nearest tenth. So it would be 25.0. And if you don't have enough room to do this right on the paper, then go ahead and use a separate sheet of paper. I'm going to clear the ink and work number 2. Okay, so step 1 was to highlight BC. Okay, step 2 is to label the sides. So little c goes here, little a goes here, and little b goes here. All right, the next thing is to eliminate information. Well, here's the situation I have for this problem. I know I need to use a over sine a. The problem is I have 2 unknowns. I don't know b, but I have to use this side. So what I need to do is figure out what this angle is first. And y'all know how to do this. You just do 61 plus 30. And then take 180 minus 91. So angle B is 89. So this is going to equal little b over sin b. So now I plug in what I know. Well, I know that A is what I'm looking for. And then I have sine 61 equals, little b is 32. And now the sine of b, well, I just figured out that this is 89. Okay, so now I'm going to cross multiply. So I know I'm going to multiply these. And I'm going to have to divide by this one. So in my calculator, I'm typing in sine 61 times 32 equals, and then I'm going to divide that by sine of 89. And you should get 27.99, which is pretty much going to round to 28. And it's a side length, so I'm just going to leave it as a number. Okay, now things get a little different when you're trying to find an angle. So here you were finding a side length. Now let's look at one where you have to find the other angle. So let's look at number 5, and then this will be the last example I do probably on this video for you. So we're looking at number 5, and again, I'm going to highlight what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for angle C. Then I'm going to label my side. So this is little c, this is little a, this is little b, but I'm not going to be using little b. All right, so I'm going to use 30 over sine 110. That's little a over a. And then little c is 13 over sine big C, right? So again, I'm going to cross multiply these, divide by this, okay? And then you're going to have to hit second sine to figure out what it is. So it's going to be sine 110, close your parentheses, times 13 equals 12.21. I'm going to divide that by 30, and you should get sine